Well, hey there. Welcome to the Pawpaw Chronicles and more with Jim. Well, today I came out here and a little bit of the stuff growing above I took out of here. Try to break it down a little bit to where I can expose and share something here with you. I want to talk to you about colonies and what we have going on here. Now, last year, as some may know, I had a couple of wild pawpaw trees that I had cut down to create colony. And I want to talk to you on how to make a colony work for you, not against you. Now, right there is where the stump is. I cut it down last year with the idea of causing root suckers to grow because I utilize root suckers in my grand scheme of things. Now, you see, like right here, right there, all over through here, we see a bunch of pawpaws coming up, root suckers. All of those are coming up from that stump. And what I did was I created a colony by cutting that stump down, or by cutting that tree down rather. And it's the way that the pawpaw continues to survive. When a tree dies, the root system's down there and they begin to grow more. But the drawback to colony, just this colony right here alone, is all of these will get big enough and have the ability to produce fruit, but they won't. And it's because it's all coming from the same root system. Well, if we put our hands in it and work on it, we can change the dynamics of that to where that colony will provide for you more so than against you. Like, for instance, this particular tree right here, root sucker, at one time, is a grafted tree. I grafted into that root sucker. I went in between the root sucker and the tree and I cut it loose, and now it's an individual. I grafted into that, and I have a couple of them you see in fence here behind me. Those were all grafted. And now, when all these get big enough, if I choose not to do anything with them, they'll all have fruit because we have some genetic differences going on in the dynamics of the colony. So what I did was I came in here and I did my own little thing to get that colony to work with me, not against me. But whenever you have a colony, like I said, and if you don't get in here and manipulate something on your own, you won't get any fruit from that colony. However, something else I want to step back here and point out. Over here, on the other side of this tree, is another colony. There was two trees there, and I did both trees the same way. Now, what's growing on the outside of that stump over here is coming from that stump. Likewise, what's on the outside of the other stump is coming from that stump. But what's in between, they're growing amongst each other. So, by having the two colonies together, that's another way to get colonies to work with you. Of course, the outer parts of each stump, you may not give fruit, but the inner part, you should get a lot of fruit. And that's because they're both genetically different stumps. And in that scenario right there, I would call that a community of pawpaws. But this is just something I wanted to share with you. You know, we got one there, one there, one there, one there, one way back here. This one right here that I grafted. Here's one right here. Here's another. There's another. Of course, there's some growing off the stump itself, but that's all going to be grafted. And then back behind the stump, there's more. And there's some even down and through here. Here's one. And here's one right here. There's one right here. And I found one way over there coming from the other stump. And it's in a good spot for a graft, out away a good distance. And that's got to be probably about 15 feet away from that other stump. Likewise, these right here is probably a good 10 foot away. And as time goes on, that lateral root will keep pushing, and there'll be some coming up over in here, because as time goes on, root development on this right here will continue, and it'll put out more root system, especially after I cut it loose from that parent tree. That's just something I wanted to share with you about colonies. You know, you want to create a good colony, cut the tree down, and this is what you'll end up with. And the potentials of having massive amounts of fruit are there. However, as I said, you got to get in there and do a little bit of manipulation to give it a pollinization. That's an NC1. There's an overleaf. I had a Shenandoah graft there that didn't take. But back up that way, I have Wabash, I have Benny's favorite, IXL, SAA overleaf, and Jerry's Big Girl. We got a number of different grafts going on within this colony, within both colonies, within the community of pawpaws. Just something I wanted to share with you. If you like what you see, subscribe. Don't forget to click on that bell for any notifications. Any comments or questions that you have, I welcome. Y'all have a God bless day.